In the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, a cozy little neighborhood tucked away in the rolling hills of Northern California, life seemed picture-perfect on the surface. It was back in the spring of 2022 when I, Ethan Ramirez, first moved into my modest two-story home on Maple Lane. I'd saved up for years to buy this place a fresh start after a messy divorce. But little did I know, the real drama was just brewing under the manicured lawns and matching mailboxes. The Willow Creek Homeowners Association, or HOA as everyone called it, ruled with an iron fist. Led by the iron-willed president, Margaret Elisa, retired accountant with a penchant for power, they enforced rules that felt straight out of a dystopian novel. No visible trash cans after 8 a.m., fences no taller than 4 feet, and God forbid your holiday lights stayed up past January 5th. They'd fine you $50 for a stray weed in your flower bed, claiming it detracted from the community's aesthetic harmony. At first, I brushed it off as quirky neighborhood quirks. But over time, those quirks turned into chains. My frustration started small, like a drip that eventually floods the basement. A few months in, I got my first warning letter. I'd painted my front door a soft navy blue, nothing flashy, just a color that matched the shutters. But nope, it wasn't on the approved palette. Margaret herself showed up at my doorstep, clipboard in hand, her lips pursed like she'd sucked on a lemon. "Ethan, dear," she said with that fake sweet tone, "we have standards here. Change it back, or face the consequences." I grumbled but complied, shelling out $200 for the correct shade of beige. Then came the barbecue incident. One sunny afternoon, I hosted a small get-together for some friends' burgers on the grill, kids running around. We weren't loud, but apparently, the smoke wafted too far. Next day, a $100 fine arrived for unauthorized open flames without prior approval. I confronted Margaret at the monthly HOA meeting, my voice steady, but my blood boiling. "This is ridiculous. It's my backyard." She just smiled that smug smile and said, "Rules keep us civilized, Ethan. Without them, we'd descend into chaos." Chaos. It was a cookout, not a riot. Those little jabs piled up. A notice for my dog's leash being too long by 2 inches, another for leaving my bike on the porch overnight. Each time, I swallowed my pride, paid up, and seethed inside. Neighbors whispered about others who'd been driven out, families bankrupted by escalating fines or shamed into selling. I started to see the pattern. The HOA wasn't protecting the community. It was controlling it, feeding Margaret's ego and the board's petty vendettas. But the real storm hit last fall, when a seemingly harmless act pushed everything over the edge. It was October, and with Halloween approaching, I decided to spruce up my yard with some decorations. Nothing outrageous, just a few pumpkins on the steps, fake cobwebs in the bushes, and a string of orange lights along the eaves. I checked the rules. Seasonal decor was allowed for up to 30 days. Or so I thought. Turns out, the lights were deemed excessive illumination because they flickered slightly. The violation notice came swift and merciless, $250 fine, plus an order to remove everything immediately. I ignored it at first, thinking it was another overreach I'd fight at the next meeting. But Margaret escalated fast. She rallied the board, claiming my defiance was eroding community values and setting a bad example. Whispers turned to outright gossip, neighbors avoiding eye contact, anonymous notes in my mailbox calling me a troublemaker. Then, the bombshell, an eviction notice taped to my door. Eviction? For Halloween lights? They accused me of repeated violations, saying it breached the covenant and threatened the neighborhood's peace and uniformity. My heart raced as I read it. Years of savings, my sanctuary, all at risk over flickering bulbs. I stormed to Margaret's house that night, pounding on her door under the pouring rain. "This is insane," I yelled when she cracked it open. "You're ruining lives over petty rules." She didn't flinch. "The community comes first, Ethan. If you can't follow the guidelines, maybe Willow Creek isn't for you." The tension was electric. I could feel the neighborhood watching from behind curtains. Lawyers got involved, mine arguing freedom of expression, theirs citing ironclad bylaws. Court dates loomed, fines ballooned to thousands, and suddenly, my quiet life was a battlefield. Friends took sides, some defending the HOA's order, others rallying behind me, starting a petition that split the street in two. The high-stakes showdown peaked in a packed community hall, where accusations flew like daggers. I'm calling out the board's tyranny, Margaret painting me as a rebel intent on anarchy. Would I lose my home? Or expose the HOA's overreach for good? What do you think? Do HOAs have too much power, turning neighborhoods into dictatorships? Or are they essential for keeping things nice and orderly? Was I right to fight back? Or should I have just complied to avoid the drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you've got a crazy HOA story of your own. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life tales that spark debate.